I spent 2 days in the rain and drizzle, and the one time I want the sun to go away, it comes out. So I woke up this morning quite late. I think sunrise was at about 3 o'clock in the morning and sunset was about 10:30. And I woke up at 8 AM and I did it on purpose. I didn't want to get up for sunrise. I needed to sleep, and the weather today is forecast to be rain and grey skies all day. So it wasn't worth getting up for sunrise, and I didn't see any potential images that might work well at sunrise. So I just thought I'd have a bit of a sleep. Anyway, the plan for today is to eat some breakfast and then maybe go and explore the other side of the national park, find another campsite, and basically hide from the rain as much as I possibly can. Oh dear me. So I've made it to camp for night 2. This is a completely different camp to the one I was at last night. It's much more in the woods, much more, it feels a lot more remote, which is great. You know, the trails are sometimes difficult to follow. You're deep in the woodland. I haven't spotted any potential compositions yet, but I haven't really been looking, to be honest. I just wanted to get here. The weather, it's been raining on and off. It seems that storms just keep passing through. So one of my reasons for choosing this campsite over a couple of others that I could have chose is this one has a lean-to. So I can keep all my gear dry. And in an emergency worst case scenario, I can even sleep in here. But I really don't think that's going to be necessary. So I'm going to have some food, have some water, and then we'll go and explore and see if we can find some compositions, because the sun sets in about 3 hours. That gives us plenty of time. Oh, just when you think you're not going to find a viewpoint, look at this. Absolutely amazing. So I'm walking, it's a lovely walk through the woods, but the forest here just seemed to be pine trees, pine. So yeah, I was worried I wasn't going to find anything. But just to come wandering up this trail and over the rocks, and then just out of nowhere, you have this awesome view. I've not found a composition yet, let's not get excited, but it is really nice here. Now, what I can see is the weather seems to have passed. So the clouds have lifted there. There are still lots of clouds there, quite high, and so they seem to be gaining altitude, which is good, because the higher the clouds, the more likely they are of catching fire at sunset. And really, what excites me the most is towards the direction where the sun is going to set, there is a break on the horizon. Now, if we've got an hour and a half until sunset, but you know, if that break stays and the clouds above us stay how they are and nothing changes too much, then the sun is going to come through that gap and the sky should light up. That's the best thing about bad weather, when you have rain, heavy rain all day, and then in the evening it's forecast to stop raining. There's always a chance it can break up, and you've still got lots of moisture and particles in the air, and those are what cause the colour. Those are what catch. So we've had a lot of weather today, and with a bit of luck, we might just get one of those sunsets. But it's nothing without a composition. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Just because something looks really nice doesn't mean necessarily that it makes a good photograph. I searched high and low, far and wide for a composition using the lake and the trees. I went long, I went wide. I tried everything, and I've been here for about 45 minutes, just wandering back and forth on this sort of 50-meter stretch of cliff edge, and honestly, I couldn't find a composition. I could have taken a nice snapshot, but compositionally it wasn't great. Every time you thought you had it, another tree would creep into shot, or you couldn't see the sort of best part of the lake. It was just difficult. So I've still got time. I've got to say, it looks actually like the cloud cover's spreading, which isn't great, but also you can never tell. So we have exactly 45 minutes till sunset. Now, at my campsite, there is a small lake, which I mentioned before. There's not enough there to make a nice image. For me, it doesn't quite have all of the elements needed. But if that sky lights up, which it might do, if it does, then I believe that small lake will have enough elements to make a nice picture. It should be still, so it should get lovely reflections from the sky above. It's also facing northwest, which is right where the sun's setting. So when the sun sets, if there's a colourful sky, that lake should catch it really nicely. I'm gonna go back to camp, explore the edge of the lake, see if I can find some interesting foreground elements, and just keep my fingers crossed for a decent sunset. Right, let's go. So last night, when I couldn't find a composition and I headed back down to the small lake at my campsite, the light nothing happened. It just was grey and overcast, and the evening faded into nothingness. So I didn't bother getting the camera out, I didn't bother filming, I just sat by the fire and chatted to another camper, which was really nice. And then I woke up this morning at about 3 AM and looked out of my tent, and it was grey skies and a bit drizzly, so there was no point getting up. I didn't have a composition in mind. 2 days ago, when hiking through the park for the first time, I noticed that there were areas of controlled forest fire where they burn acres of woodland in order to regenerate new growth. I thought it would be worth coming and exploring one of these burnt areas, because you get great contrast. You get black charred areas of forest, maybe you get some new growth coming through, or you get areas that are untouched. But for me, it's a novelty. A forest fire area is a novelty. So I'm gonna go to this area and see if I can find a composition and anything of interest. We have fairly flat overcast light, which should lend itself perfect for this type of photography. So I've arrived at the burnt forest area, and unfortunately the sun's come out, which is a bit annoying. I spent 2 days in the rain and drizzle, and the one time I want the sun to go away, it comes out. Oh, that's annoying. It'll go, there's plenty of cloud around. Anyway, this is the forest, the burnt forest area. And sometimes, like, the best compositions in photography are always just the simple, obvious compositions. Basically, we're having a completely charred forest. But in this area of charcoal and dark pine, there is one silver birch tree that really shines, it really stands out. It looks like it's escaped the fire. The composition should be lovely, simple. We've got very uniform trees, all dark, all black. We've got black foreground, and then just this lovely single silver birch. I'm on f11, 1/15 of a second, ISO 400, because I needed to increase my shutter speed because there's wind and the tree's shaking. Okay, let's get the shot now. 2-second timer, the wind drops a little bit, and we'll just capture this image. Magic, absolutely magic. Things are just gifted to you. I always say, like, hang on, someone's coming. Oh.